Silence. All stand and remain standing until the conclusion of the reading of the proclamation. Ladies and gentlemen, the proclamation. All persons having any business before this honorable court now draw nigh. Give your attendance, and you shall be heard.
Please be seated.
Admission of lawyers. Inji Abdul Mohsen Salah Abdul Salam.
May it please the court, I move that Angie Abdul Mohsen Saleh Abdul Salam be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Inji Abdul Salah Abdul Salam be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Zainab Archie.
May it please the court, I move that Zainab Archie be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Zainab Archie be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Iman Alamgir.
May it please the court, I move that Iman Alamgir be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Iman Alamgir be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jessica Kate Bagnall.
May it please the court, I move that Jessica Kate Bagnell be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jessica Kate Bagnall be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lavina Amy Balachanda.
May it please the court, I move that Lavina Amy Balachanda be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lavina Amy Balachanda be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Matthew James Blundell.
May it please the court, I move that Matthew James Blundell be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Matthew James Blundell be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
George Boulos.
May it please the court, I move that George Boulos be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let George Boulos be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jack Leslie Cale.
May it please the court, I move that Jack Leslie Cale be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jack Leslie Cale be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Serena Lucinda Carley.
May it please the court, I move that Serena Lucinda Carley be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Serena Lucinda Carley be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Dan Cantor.
May it please the court, I move that Dan Kanta be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Dan Cantor be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ryan Kyle Collins.
May it please the court, I move that Ryan Carl Collins be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ryan Carl Collins be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Andrew Alexander Cook.
May it please the court, I move that Andrew Alexander Cook be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Andrew Alexander Cook be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Bianca Conchetta Krappis.
May it please the court, I move that Bianca Conchetta Krappis be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Bianca Conchetta Krappis be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Samuel James Crowder.
May it please the court, I move that Samuel James Crowder be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Samuel James Crowder be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lara Marie Duggan.
May it please the court, I move that my sister, Lara Marie Duggan, be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lara Marie Duggan be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Brianna Rose Louise Edwards.
May it please the court, I move that Brianna Rose Louise Edwards be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Brianna Rose Louise Edwards be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Paige Marie Hackett.
May it please the court, I move that Paige Marie Hackett be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Paige Marie Hackett be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Rachel Alexandra Herkus.
May it please the court, I move that Rachel Alexandra Herkus be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Rachel Alexandra Herkus be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Benjamin John Holmes.
May it please the court, I move that Benjamin John Holmes be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Benjamin John Holmes be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
George Issa.
May it please the court, I move that George Issa be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let George Isher be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Joshua Robert Natras.
May it please the court, I move that Joshua Robert Natras be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Joshua Robert Natras be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ling Wei Kong.
May it please the court, I move that Ling Wei Kong be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ling Wei Kong be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Cherie Lau.
May it please the court, I move that Cherie Lau be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Cherie Lau be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jimmy Guang Yi Lee.
May it please the court, I move that Jimmy Guang Yi Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jimmy Guang Yi Lee be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Emily Ma.
May it please the court, I move that Emily Ma be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Emily Ma be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sophia Awatif Amru Abdel Hamid Matawa.
May it please the court, I move that Sophia Awatif Amru Abdel Hamid Matawa be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sophia Awatif Amru Abd El Hamid Matawa be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mary Mina.
May it please the court, I move that Mary Mina be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Mary Mina be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jack Cawthorne O'Brien.
May it please the court, I move that Jack Cawthorne O'Brien be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jack Cawthorne O'Brien be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jonathan Paul Partington.
May it please the court, I move that Jonathan Paul Partington be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jonathan Paul Partington be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Daniel Jackson Plicker.
May it please the court, I move that Daniel Jackson Plicker be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Daniel Jackson Plicker be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Hui Min Kyu.
May it please the court, I move that Hui Min Kyu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Hui Min Kyu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Naomi Bridget Rouse.
May it please the court, I move that Naomi Bridget Rouse be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Naomi Bridget Rouse be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Gladys Andrea Regalado.
May it please the court, I move that Gladys Andrea Regalado be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Gladys Andrea Regalado be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Isabel Patricia Rose.
May it please the court, I move that Isabel Patricia Rose be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Isabel Patricia Rose be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ines Elizabeth Shear.
May it please the court, I move that Ines Elizabeth Shah be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ines Elizabeth Shea be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Malin Shivani Sharma.
May it please the court, I move that my niece Milan Shivani Sharma be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Milan Shivani Sharma be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tess Haneke Shepherd.
May it please the court, I move that Tess Haneke Shepherd be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Tess Haneke Shepherd be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Navroz Sodi.
May it please the court, I move that Navroz Sodi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Navroz Sodi be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Helen Elizabeth Ann Stanbury.
May it please the court, I move that Helen Elizabeth Ann Stanbury be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Helen Elizabeth Ann Stanbury be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Daniel Robert Strazzari.
May it please the court, I move that Daniel Robert Strazzari be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Daniel Robert Strazzari be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jodie Taylor.
May it please the court, I move that Jodie Taylor be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jodie Taylor be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Eric Ryan Chen Wei Teo.
May it please the court, I move that Eric Ryan Chen Wei Teo be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Eric Ryan Chernway Teo be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Patrick Lachlan Fine.
May it please the court, I move that Patrick Lachlan Fine be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Patrick Lachlan Fine be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Thomas Luke Webb.
May it please the court, I move that Thomas Luke Webb be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Thomas Luke Webb be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
David Ewan Williamson.
May it please the court, I move that David Ewan Williamson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let David Ewan Williamson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Fu Guo Shui.
May I please the court? I move that Fu Guoxue be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Fu Guoxue be admitted as a lawyer of this court. Before we move to the admissions in absentia, can I just ask, I think perhaps the mover of Mr. Ryan Kyle Collins was preempted, and I would not wish to deprive him of the honour of moving the admission, so perhaps you could repeat that, for Mr. Collins.
Okay. So, Ryan Kyle Collins.
May it please the court, I move that Ryan Kyle Collins be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
As already admitted, let Ryan Kyle Collins be admitted as a lawyer of this court. And I do also admit, as lawyers of this court, the following persons who have completed a special process for admission in absentia: King Fung Ho, Elsie Low, Chun Hong Luk, Candace Nicole Walker, and Shiwa Zhu. All of those persons are admitted as lawyers of this court. So it will now be necessary for those applicants whose admission has been moved to stand and remain standing for the purpose of swearing an oath or making a declaration. Please stand as directed by the officiating officer.
Thank you. Could rows 1 and 2 on my right please stand? Inji Abdul Mohsen Salah Abdul Salam. Zainab Achi. Imam Alamgir. Jessica Kate Bagnall. Lavina Amy Ballachanda. Matthew James Blundell. George Boulos. Jack Leslie Kale. Serena Lucinda Carley. Dan Kantar. Ryan Kyle Collins. Andrew Alexander Cook. Bianca Conchetta Krappis. Samuel James Crowder. Lara Marie Duggan. Brianna Rose Louise Edwards. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state, according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"? Thank you. Please sit down. And could rows 3 and 4 to my right please stand? Paige Marie Hackett. Rachel Alexander Herkus. Benjamin John Holmes. George Issa. Joshua Robert Natras. Ling Wei Kong. Cherie Lau. Jimmy Guang Yi Lee. Emily Ma. Sophia Awatif Amru Abdul Hamid Matawa. Mary Mina. Jack Cawthorne O'Brien. Jonathan Paul Partington. Daniel Jackson Plicker. Hui Min Q. Naomi Bridget Rouse. Gladys Andrea Regalado. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state, according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"? I do. Thank you. Please sit down. And could the 2 rows to my left please stand up? Isabel Patricia Rose. Ines Elizabeth Shear. Milan Shivani Sharma. Tess Haneke Shepherd, Navroz Sodi, Helen Elizabeth Ann Stanbury, Daniel Robert Strassari, Jodie Taylor, Eric Ryan Chunwei Teo, Patrick Lachlan Thine, Thomas Luke Webb, David Ewan Williamson, Fu Guo Shui. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"? Thank you. Please sit down.
Now that the formal part of the proceedings is complete, on behalf of the Chief Justice and all of the judges of the court, I would like warmly to welcome you and your family and friends to the Supreme Court of New South Wales. I am Justice Ward, the President of the Court of Appeal, and I have the honour to represent the Chief Justice at today's very special ceremony for each of our newly admitted lawyers. Present with me on the bench today, to my immediate right, is Justice Davies, who is a judge of the Common Law Division. To my left is Justice Wilson, who is also a judge of the Common Law Division. And to the far right is Justice Meek, who is a judge in the Equity Division of this court. Together, we constitute the court, which has, in the exercise of its jurisdiction, admitted you to practice. I also welcome on the bench today Judge Arnott from the District Court of New South Wales, who is sitting to my far left. As we gather here today, I wish first to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet, the Gadigal of the Eora Nation, and I pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I recognise the long-standing and enduring customs and traditions of Australia's First Nation peoples and their deep connection with country. And I welcome any of our First Nations peoples present here today or watching the ceremony online. To all of the newly admitted lawyers, it is a great pleasure for me to be able to welcome each of you individually to the legal profession of this state, and to be able to do so in person. Although it's now some 40 years since I was admitted as a solicitor in this very same courtroom, I well recall the solemnity of the occasion and the excitement and pride of my parents who were here to witness the ceremony. Little did I imagine then that one day I would be presiding over just such a ceremony. I'm pleased to welcome all of those who are watching your admission today, whether in person or via the live stream. Today is indeed a day for celebration. You will all have worked extremely hard to reach today's milestone, perhaps through caffeine-fueled nights and obscure problem questions, perhaps reading countless wafer-thin pages of textbook or straining your eyes on computer screens and trying to remember more cases than you will ever hope to be able to remember. You are entitled to be proud of your achievements, and your family and friends are entitled to be very proud of you. No doubt many of them will feel they would almost be equally qualified to be admitted here today, having shared the knowledge of law that you have gained over the years, and no doubt having been on the receiving end of your finely honed skills of advocacy and persuasion. They may well feel that they know more about snails in ginger beer bottles and the cannibalisation of shipwrecked cabin boys than it was ever necessary for them to know. In being admitted as a lawyer today, you have joined a centuries-old profession with ancient origins. The custom of advocates swearing an admissions oath dates back to the 12th century. The Supreme Court was established in 1823 and is very near to nearing its bicentenary now. This court first admitted lawyers to practice in 1824, making New South Wales one of only a handful of jurisdictions with a continuously operating court as old as this. By 1830, the names of lawyers were entered onto rolls in this state. So you've now become part of this tradition almost 200 years later. And perhaps for some of you or your family and friends, that's how long it feels like you have been studying. At the heart of this tradition is the direct relationship between the court and lawyers as officers of the court. And the oath or affirmation you have made today in this regard is a serious one, and it deserves solemn regard. Importantly, today you assume ethical obligations over and above those demanded of you as members of the community. The legal profession is dedicated to upholding the rule of law, one of the most important pillars of a peaceful and democratic society, and the standards expected of our legal professionals are correspondingly high. As lawyers, you will owe onerous duties to your client, but you must always remember that your paramount duty is to the court. Among the obligations you owe to the court are a duty of full disclosure of the relevant law, a duty of candour, not to mislead the court or knowingly to permit your client to do so, a duty to refuse to permit the commencement or continuance of baseless proceedings, a duty to exercise care before making allegations of misconduct against another person, a duty not to assist any form of improper conduct, and a duty to conduct cases before the court efficiently and expeditiously. Your duty to the court requires faithful compliance with your ethical obligations, no matter what pressures may be placed upon you, and no matter that they may at times conflict with your client's wishes or desires. Whether you work in private practice, at the bar, in a community legal centre, or in an entirely different field, you should always be known for your honesty, your integrity, and your commitment to justice. It is in acknowledgement of this weighty responsibility that we observe today's unique formalities. An occasion such as this marks not only the achievements you've made in the course of your studies, but also the prospect of those to which you aspire in the future. Each of you has reached a different, albeit in many cases similar, path to join the legal profession. You've come from different homes, different backgrounds, and different cultures. You bring to the practice of law different experiences and different perspectives. You will no doubt have different expectations and aspirations for your career. The legal profession and the administration of justice are both enriched by that diversity. This makes it important that we strive for diversity in all aspects of the legal profession, including on the bench. Though women were originally not permitted to practice, since 2018, women have made up more than half of all solicitors with a practicing certificate in New South Wales, and currently 63% of solicitors under the age of 30. Women occupy many of the most senior positions in the law, including, of course, the Chief Justice of Australia. However, women continue to face challenges of representation, including amongst judges of this court and amongst barristers in speaking roles before the High Court. The local court of New South Wales has almost achieved gender parity amongst magistrates, but there's a long way to go before we could become anywhere near complacent. But gender diversity is not the only issue to be addressed. Cultural and ethnic diversity is just as important. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and those from diverse cultural backgrounds continue to be underrepresented in the legal profession, and particularly within the judiciary and the ranks of senior counsel. As many more notable judges before me have observed, it is important to the maintenance of the rule of law that the constitution of the court reflect the community which we serve. We must also be alert to barriers to the profession for people from less privileged backgrounds. We will only achieve a truly diverse profession when barriers to advancement are broken down and people from different backgrounds are properly supported in a collegiate and inclusive environment, free from harassment and discrimination. Those issues are fundamental to a just and transparent legal system and to the legitimacy of the rule of law. We need diverse representation amongst advocates and judges so that all people who become involved in our justice system can be properly heard and fairly engaged with by a system reflective of our broader community. Having said this, it is important to remember that notwithstanding that you are a diverse group, You now share a common membership of the legal profession, and we will shortly hear from some other members of the legal profession in that regard. It is your great privilege as a lawyer not only to inherit a body of knowledge developed over hundreds of years, but also to have the chance to contribute to its ongoing evolution. The legal profession is one that demands a constant commitment to learning. You may have thought that this was an end to your studies, but if so, it is my unpalatable duty to tell you that you were wrong. The law is complicated and constantly developing. Were it otherwise, there would not be the scope for academic discourse that there is, and we judges would not so regularly have our misunderstanding of the law pointed out to us by the advocates who appear before us. Rest assured, for those of you with a bibliophobia, that is, a fear of running out of reading material, as lawyers, that fear will never materialise. On other similar occasions in this court, the former Chief Justice acknowledged that it would never be possible for you to learn everything that there is to know about the law. But that does not absolve you from the duty of keeping on top of developments in the law, particularly since it may be your task to enlighten members of the judiciary as to those developments or as to why their long-held understanding of the law needs to be modified. The duties that I've noted are the minimum, not the total of your professional obligations. You have a duty as a lawyer to serve the community by protecting and promoting the basic tenets of our legal system: justice, equality, due process, and the rule of law. You've now entered the real legal world, so to speak. In one famous annual speech to the Law Society, or perhaps infamous, the then Chief Justice likened lawyers to plumbers, a necessary evil and often expensive and difficult to get hold of. You now encounter the reality of that world, of eggshell skulls and peppercorn rents. You may even meet the mysterious reasonable person, and you will have to apply the Constitution with an understanding that it consists of so much more than the vibe of the thing. You will be called upon as an advisor, a problem solver, a mediator, and an advocate for the marginalised. You must strive to deliver legal services competently and fearlessly with courtesy and integrity. One of your roles as lawyers will often be to make law accessible to others, sometimes by deciphering legal complexities, other times by deciphering poor legal drafting, and sometimes both. We must not keep the law locked up as something knowable only to lawyers. We must come down from our ivory tower. Finally, should I say that although we mark this occasion with formality and tradition, not everything in the legal profession remains unchanging. Over the past 2 years or 3 years now, we've had to adapt quite a lot. COVID-19 has meant a rapid shift to increase use of virtual courtroom setups and technology to ensure access to justice continued in the midst of a global pandemic. For those of us who are Luddites, this has posed technological and other issues. Occasionally, a lawyer might even get stuck behind a Zoom kitten filter. There have also been significant difficulties to grapple with in terms of open justice, effective communication, and fairness to all participants in the legal process. The impetus is greater than ever before for us to prioritise flexibility and accessibility. As the newest members of the profession, you are at the forefront of innovation in the law. In performing those obligations, you should not lose sight of the fact that you are also part of a professional community. By its law, nature is not a solitary occupation. There's no doubt that it is an occupation that can be isolating and highly stressful at times. Clients, unsurprisingly, are often demanding. Work may not be progressing the way you wish or you might have hoped, and you may, but surely this will be rare, encounter difficulty persuading a judge of the wisdom of your arguments or the merits of your client's case. In those times, the support of your peers will be invaluable, and I encourage you to make use of that support. And in that context, I propose now to call upon some young representatives of the New South Wales Bar Association and the Law Society to say a few words to you. Ms. Dion, do you move?
May it please the court. My name is Kelly Dion, and I have been practicing at the bar since 2022, predominantly in corporate and commercial law and in equity. Prior to coming to the bar, I was a lawyer for many years in Australia and in England and Wales. On behalf of the New South Wales Bar Association, I welcome you all to the legal profession. The legal profession is an old profession based on precedent and the rule of law, while also being a profession that grows and develops to adapt to new practices and technology, and importantly, to society's values as they change over time. For several decades now, the composition of lawyers and barristers in New South Wales has changed to better reflect the community. The bar today is a welcoming place for people of all genders and backgrounds. It is an honour to be a lawyer, and in my case, a barrister, and I'm proud to be a member of the legal profession. I enjoy the intellectual challenge of my job and that it allows me to give expert advice to and to represent people in court and to contribute to society in a meaningful way. If you are interested in coming to the bar, you can contact the New South Wales Bar Association or have a look at its website, and each year there is a Career at the Bar Open Day. In your first year of practice as a barrister, as a reader, you will receive assistance from 2 tutors who are barristers of at least 7 years seniority. They will meet with you, support you, and teach you practical skills. But the support you receive is not limited to those 2 barristers. The bar is renowned for its open door policy, its collegiality, and the rapport that is able to be built in chambers. There are also opportunities to become involved in the work of the New South Wales Bar Association, which is the professional body that supports barristers and has a range of committees. Those committees include a New Barristers Committee, which organises social and educational functions for 0 to 5 year barristers like me. There is also a Diversity and Equality Committee, which promotes one of the key strategic goals of the New South Wales Bar Association to attract the best people to become barristers, regardless of their race, religion, gender, parental status, or sexual preference. Whether as a lawyer or a barrister, I encourage you to get involved in the Law Society or Bar Association and to use your skills to assist your community. It is a rewarding experience to practice in connection with others in your profession. Once again, on behalf of the New South Wales Bar Association, I welcome you to the legal profession, and I congratulate you on your admission as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Thank you, Ms. Dion. Ms. Zaney, do you move?
May it please the court. My name is Myrna Zaney, and not long ago I stood where you are standing today. And what a day today is. You are here being admitted to the Supreme Court role as the final step at the end of a long and arduous journey. You should all feel immensely proud of what you have achieved thus far. When I embarked on my career as a solicitor, I had no real idea of what to expect. It was not always easy. Often it was overwhelming. But as I stand here today after 3 years of practicing predominantly as a criminal law solicitor, I can tell you I have already learned a thing or two. One of the most important things I have learned is the importance of belonging to a profession. The legal profession is an increasingly large and diverse profession and community, and one to which you now belong. The Law Society of New South Wales is home to 30,000 members, whose members are flung far and wide across the state. We are bound by our shared duties, our commitment to continuous learning, our desire to connect, and our drive to give back to our communities and uphold the rule of law. As an early career lawyer, belonging to a strong community and network of peers is crucial. This is why I have been part of the Law Society's New South Wales Young Lawyers for 4 years now. Here, I have found friendship, guidance, inspiration, and support when I needed it most, as well as opportunities to advocate and join committees. By joining the Law Society, and specifically New South Wales Young Lawyers, you will gain access to professional support, conferences and events, a wide range of publications, professional development opportunities, mentoring, volunteer opportunities, and so much more. It is the role of the Law Society to ensure that you, as a newly minted solicitor, can thrive and succeed in your new profession. So again, congratulations to you all. Look us up or speak to your employer about joining. We look forward to welcoming you to the Law Society community. Thank you.
Once again, on behalf of all of the judges of the Supreme Court, and particularly those on the bench with me, can I congratulate you on your admission, welcome you to the legal profession, and express the hope that you will now be off to a suitable celebration with family and friends on this important day. The court will now adjourn.
All stand. This honourable court is now adjourned.